So, ladies and gentlemen,
Hey! Lights down, crowd roar in my headphones. Black mask, black nails, hit record, set the tone. Let's go! Turn the volume to venom. Every take like a chair to the temple. All elite on the screen, I'm unruly. Barbed wire words cut deep, get gory. World Wrestling Federation in my brain. Old school tape, steel cage, pure pain. Total non-stop, I don't tap, stay talking. Every hot take feel like entrance walking. Got the pearls in my chest when I speak now. Damn hits, you can hear them in the cheap rows. Knees weak, that's cute, I'm a blood feud. Every episode of pay-per-view, stay tuned. Khaotic Wrestling Podcast. Khaotic Wrestling Podcast. Say it from the front to the rockers. Say it till your voice comes fractured. Khaotic Wrestling Podcast. All my freaks in the pit, too proud. Hit play, feel the whole world crash. Khaotic Wrestling Podcast.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chaotic Wrestling Podcast. I have some guests coming in the building right now. One of them just so happens to be the man himself, Austin Reaper, is in the building for this first episode as we discuss the Royal Rumble pay-per-view and the Rumble after, which is Monday Night Raw. So we're going to dig into the Rumble first before we dig into Monday Night Raw, Austin. Your thoughts on the opening segment of Monday Night Raw? I feel like the vision is about to crumble before our very eyes.
Honestly, I don't disagree with that. Because I'm starting to see the little itty bitty cracks within the vision, honestly.
Especially after what happened in the Men's Royal Rumble. How Braun just literally got annihilated by the Masked Man, which we don't even know who the Masked Man is. But we got another guest coming in as well in the building. We got a King in the building. We got King Dominator joining us for this first episode as well. And as we were discussing, Katie, we were discussing the opening segment of Raw, showing that the vision may be cracking before our very eyes.
Yeah, I noticed that. Freaking Logan Paul and freaking Austin Theory all came in, try to talk to Braun Breaker and try to calm him down. Cause that dude was wrecking everything. He went in.
I mean, he was a one man. He wrecked the announce table, threw the announce chairs. Basically, was looking like he was taking over the show, and I'm like, yeah, you pretty much are setting a tone to where you really want answers from the GM, and I'm like,
who attacked him? The mystery
who
guy.
was gonna stop this man from total destruction? And if they didn't do that segment, I feel like the wrestlers would have been in sheer limbo throughout the night if he was left unchecked.
So let's go and recap about what happened Saturday then.
No. We're going to dig into the Rumble. We're going to start with the Women's Royal Rumble match. And the winner itself, Liv Morgan. But we're going to really dig into some of the things on why the Women's Royal Rumble was good, but why we felt it could have been a little bit more impressive.
Exciting.
With a few entrants that would have been a spot to be seen. So let's dig into this. We had a returning Brie Bella for I don't know how long was her last appearance in WWE. We had Tiffy return, cool, but in most cases, That Brie Bella spotlight was kind of the best pop I ever heard an audience do for somebody that they haven't seen in quite some time. Your thoughts?
You guys gotta think Brie Bella last wrestled in 2015.
Right.
So it's been
He
over
did have
10
the injury.
years. 10 years since Brie Bella has actually been in a WWE ring.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, that I will have to say that was one of the most exciting entrances I have ever seen.
I mean, outside of, and I gotta say this right here, my big shout out goes to Sol Ruka to literally her impressive performance in the Royal Rumble spoke volumes to me. Look, CJ, look in the brothers chat. Look in the chat. It's right there, CJ. It's right there.
But like, yes, so Ruka did perform very well in the women's Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia.
Exactly. So I feel like Soul had a good performance in there. It was a couple standouts that I feel in the Rumble that stood out like a sore thumb. And I would have never thought that you would start off the Women's Royal Rumble with Charlotte Flair and her tag team partner, Alexa Bliss, being a 1-2 tandem. Do you feel like this is the sign of them breaking up and them going their separate ways for a solo title?
But that didn't happen though.
They were cool with each other. It's like there was times that
I'm sorry, but WWE is trying to get Alexa and Charlotte to split for a solo title, but in reality, they ain't gonna do it.
Right.
Because you gotta think those two have a bond that can't be severed.
Oh yeah.
So that's just from my opinion.
Right. So now it's like you gotta say to yourself this. We didn't like the biggest surprise I thought we would have saw in this Women's Royal Rumble would have been a Saraya, aka Paige,
or maybe a returning Bianca Belair,
or returning Bianca Belair,
or I've noticed she's been out for months.
Like it would have been somebody that would have stood out like a sore thumb because I feel like there were some people
besides Brie standing out after coming back for after 10 years. That's a good one.
I mean, Brie Bella was like the shock of the night in the Women's Royal Rumble. But as we get into our next guest who just joined, we had the Violet Tick himself, CJ Mundo, joining the first episode of the Chaotic Wrestling Podcast. Welcome to the stage, sir. So, as we were discussing the Women's Royal Rumble, what was your standouts and insights on the Women's Royal Rumble?
Well, in all honesty, I really think that instead of Liv Morgan, I think they should push, somebody that's not been a champion, give somebody else a shot. There was huge people in that Rumble. I mean, Nikki Bella.
And like a lot of people that I've seen from certain setups that I've seen people say, they said as long as it wasn't Liv Morgan and it wasn't Rhea Ripley. In those moments, I feel like you had a bunch of women in there. I would have been comfortable if it would have been Jordynne Grace, for crying out loud. Jordynne Grace does deserve an opportunity as well as a host of women that was in that Rumble. I would have even felt comfortable if it was Alexa Bliss.
Or Charlotte Flair.
Or Charlotte Flair. No.
No, not Charlotte.
I mean, Charlotte, I mean, just for her to have an accolade that no other woman has had, which is being a 3-time Royal Rumble winner.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that accolade, okay, cool.
I mean, do you want me to make you guys laugh? Because I can give you my prediction of who I think needs to win the Women's Rumble.
But who, in your honest opinion, fellas, should have won the Women's Royal Rumble out of the women that was entered in?
Honest opinion?
Honest opinion.
My honest opinion would have to go towards Nikki Bella.
Okay, I can vouch for that. I can vouch for that. Katie, your honest opinion on who should have won the Women's Royal Rumble?
I didn't. I was surprised Liv won it, but man, if I would have chose somebody, I would have chose maybe Brie Bella.
Interesting choice. CJ, your choice.
I mean, do you want my honest opinion or do you want a funny, like everybody's going to
Give
laugh?
give me the honest one. I mean, we ain't gonna hold back no punches here.
Well, my honesty, I think it should have been Jordan Grace or Tiffany Stratton. Now, if you want the funny opinion, I'll give you the funny opinion, and then all three of y'all are gonna laugh your asses off.
Oh boy.
Okay, lay it on us.
Are you sure?
Lay it on us.
Because if
Yeah, lay it on us.
y'all gonna be busting out laughing.
Lay it on us.
Okay, who I think needs to win the Women's Royal Rumble is King Henry, or should I say Queen Henry?
Oh boy!
Oh my god!
Hilarious. Okay. Now let's dig into the real topic at hand here, which is we're going into this next match that happened at the Rumble, the AJ Styles versus Gunther match. I know everybody has a very solidified.
I'm gonna say this much. I was mad about that one.
I know everybody has a very solidified statement here to this match, but before we do that, I will say thank you, AJ, for all the great memories and accomplishments you have done in this industry. You were a fighting champion, a man of vision, everything that you could think of. This podcast salutes you on your accolades here.
Yeah, that's true.
But getting into the match itself, I know, KD, you got a lot to say on this, so I'm going to let you have the floor first.
Yes, because I actually met AJ Styles, literally in person. He was actually a cool person. And seeing him get retired, I thought it was going to be this time. I thought he could actually defend it because he did everything in his power to do that. He did everything in his power to actually.
Like, I would have thought, in my opinion, okay, you got the match. You had the match against Gunther. Cool. I thought Triple H would have pulled this man aside to basically say, okay, we're going to put you in the Rumble as a very interesting thing. Instead of you bringing Gunther out there for that entrant 30, it should have been AJ Styles out there. But we're going to get into the Men's Rumble after this.
Yeah, because I have a lot to say about that fucking 30 bullshit. But yeah, that whole AJ Styles losing thing just was.
And it feels like, even with the heat that he got tonight on Monday Night Raw, it felt like it was very disrespectful for about the AJ's music and just rub it into say he's the better man. But really, are we really looking at this from a perspective of, did you really beat AJ Styles or did you cut corners to beat AJ?
Honestly, Gunther had actually cut corners just to beat AJ. Like,
It's
for
kind of like
example,
the same similar fate to what happened with John Cena.
cut corners.
But we see that for the standpoint that it is. But in all due seriousness, AJ, whatever you do, we salute you for everything that you've done. But now, getting into the next match of the night, which was the apparent Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre world title match. This match, I feel, Sami had a lot of edge in him, but it also felt like Drew kind of had a personal vendetta on Sami throughout the match.
Which, in all technicality, Drew actually did. But in my honest opinion, I think Sami Zayn should have won.
Right.
Against Drew.
Because I feel like Sami has been through a lot of ups and downs. He's had title opportunities, but they just never pushed him enough to the point where he actually won the title.
But I'll give him this, though. He was a phenomenal Intercontinental Champion. I'll give him that.
Exactly. He was great as Intercontinental. I think he won the United States Championship at one point, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe he did.
But he had a good run with those two titles, and I'll give him all the credit in the world for winning those two. But now it's time for him to step up and try to get the big one that he never won. And I do commend his spirit for this aggressiveness that he showed to get this far, to get to the title. But the question is, do you think he'll resort back to that narrative, or do you think he's going to just keep that momentum going?
I personally think Sami Zayn should keep that momentum going. In all seriousness. Because if y'all think about it, though, Sami actually almost beat Drew.
Yep.
But with Drew going off script and everything, though, as a world champion, you need to follow the actual script that you are given.
Exactly, because I feel like that match would have been a perfect scenario match, Austin.
Here's the thing.
If he went
you guys got to learn the backstage thing, too. So even if he goes off script, when he goes back to those gorilla curtains to the gorilla position, I bet you anything Triple H is back there waiting on his ass, about ready to chew him out, as well as, I think, the president, I think it's, what's his name, Nick
Aldis?
Aldis. Or no,
not Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis is the GM of Raw.
No, SmackDown.
He's the GM of SmackDown.
The president, that's Tony Khan. That's related to Tony Khan.
Oh, Nick Khan.
Yeah, Nick Khan.
The other guy that works alongside Triple H, and then I think they got Bruce Richardson backstage too.
I'd say what happened is when Drew got back there with the WWE title, as he retained it, as he came back through the backstage, curtain, I'd say Nick Khan and Triple H chewed his ass out for that.
I think that happened, and I mean, let's not.
I mean, to me, it looks like it happened.
But on to the next piece of the agenda, which is, I know everybody has their opinions and concerns about this.
I kind of do. This one. I'm actually curious because the Rumble, we're talking about the Rumble that's coming up right now.
Yeah, and I was just about to mention the Men's Royal Rumble. I mean, there were a lot of things in this Men's Royal Rumble that I felt could have been way more fitting if it was done responsibly. But also, I feel like in this particular narrative right now, for Obafemi to be in this Rumble as the number one, he had a very stunning first Rumble performance. And I mean, brute power was on display, and kudos.
Yep.
I'll say kudos to Obafemi for actually lasting until Brock eliminated him.
And even with that showdown, I felt like that was a showdown in that particular moment. I felt like this is going to lead to a potential Brock versus Oba match rivalry. Either it's going to come up soon, or it's going to be like a match that's going to be unveiled at Mania.
Honestly, my personal opinion, I think it's going to be a match at Mania.
Yep, they got to build it as much as they can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like if you get the build up right for this, Oba can be phenomenal. But I also see this being an add-on equation to it. The battle of the big men. Oba, Brock, and Royce Keys, a.k.a. Powerhouse Hobbs.
Ooh, now that'd be a really good match.
And let's not forget, if that's a triple threat, you know Oba is undefeated in triple threats.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I know. And, like, I say this. Shout out to Powerhouse Hobbs making his first ever WWE debut in the Rumble. But also, you had quite a performance in there, and I'll give him kudos where it's due. But the fact that the Men's Royal Rumble was very odd and seen there was no real special guest appearances from legends past in this Royal Rumble.
I mean, I could agree with that. They should have brought back like at least a legend for the Royal Rumble.
And everybody is so mad that we didn't get a Chris Jericho appearance in the Rumble, but that would have been a phenomenal thing to see. Is Jericho in the Rumble?
Man, I know. I mean, honest.
And I know a lot of people would have been commendable to see this in the Rumble. I mean, I know everybody has their gripes and grudges on who should have been in the Rumble, who shouldn't have been in the Rumble, whatever the case may be, but this is the Royal Rumble we're talking about here. And if I'm not mistaken, Triple H said in many interviews that this Rumble is going to have many guest appearances in this Rumble, but he basically didn't fall through on that promise. Thoughts on this?
You know what's more? Okay, so I noticed this. Didn't Sami Zayn wanted it to be part of the Rumble, but he was not in it?
Yeah, and here's my thing about it. No Sami Zayn, no Finn Balor. I mean...
Like that... That right there.
And then, here's the other thing about this, too. Where was Carmelo Hayes in the Rumble to have his golden opportunity as well, too? I mean, there are certain names that was excluded from this. And, I mean, these names could have been star point people in the Rumble.
Hayes should have been in the Rumble.
I mean, you had all four men in the Rumble. I mean, there's quite a thing, but I mean, you had some NXT appearances. Cool, I get it.
Don't forget the returning L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Like the two AAA appearances, a returning L.A. Knight. I mean, okay, cool. But at the end of the day, this is the question I have to ask.
Where's the surprise entrances at?
Like, that was one thing. But the other thing that has to be addressed is, did y'all feel Roman Reigns deserved to be the Royal Rumble winner?
Well,
I mean,
here's who I really think that should have won the Rumble. I think personally, you know, Roman had his time. Why would you give him another run?
Another shot.
You know, And
He
secondly,
ran
there's
the
a
division
lot
for
of
3 years.
there's a lot of people that deserve that title. You know, Dragunov, I think he would be a good
Agreeable.
champion if WWE would have pushed it and definitely allowed it.
Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo Hayes is what I was going to say, and then Oba Fleming. I think Oba Fleming would be the great. You know, could you imagine Oba Fleming going against Drew McIntyre or Oba Fleming against CM Punk for the title?
Think about and I say this: and out of everybody who was in that Royal Rumble, the names that I felt didn't deserve to have that moment: Gunther, Roman, and Cody. Those 3 names already had their time with the title, whatever the case may be. They didn't deserve it. Now, LA Knight definitely deserves the opportunity to have the title, but also in the long run, it felt like he's getting the short end of the stick in his creative process. And I don't know why that is. Like, he gets in moments where they're good, but it also feels like they put him in situations that doesn't make him stand out in these moments. Just like tonight on Raw, it felt like LA Knight was getting his just due back on the Vision. But the fact of the matter is, why are we having him focus on the Vision instead of focusing on getting the title?
So I feel
like we all heard tonight that Roman's going after CM Punk. Okay, so why not do a match on SmackDown? Number 1 contendership, go against Drew.
That's where the chamber.
There we go. Because it also feels like have LA Knight set the tone for who's going to be the one to take on Drew at Mania. Because now the match is already synced in stone with what we saw with Raw, with the end of Monday Night Raw, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns.
Right.
So we get that. Basically
do like a fatal 5-way on SmackDown. Number 1
ladies and gentlemen, we do have another guest joining us today.
The Roman versus Punk.
Welcome to Storm in the building. Ryan Storm has entered the Khaotic Wrestling Podcast.
I kind of figured that this was going to happen because think about it. The Usos. What tag team titles do they got?
We not on that subject just yet, Ryan. We're talking about the Royal Rumble and the fact that Roman in his position, like, does he really deserve to have that position?
Okay, so you want me to say what I was going to say for when we get to it?
Yeah. To say that narrative, we're on the Roman topic right now for the Royal Rumble winner. And does he deserve it?
In my personal opinion, there are other names who have waited for their opportunity to become world champion. Why give it to Roman?
Agreed. There were several names. If you're building future stars in the WWE, there were future stars in that Royal Rumble that had way more credibility than the guys you had in there that were champions.
Like, for example, LA Knight. He's actually been damn close to beating Roman when he was running as the undisputed Universal Champion.
Here's the thing about it too. You guys got to think about it. You know, you guys got to think about how Triple H is. Triple H, you know, even though that LA Knight's a talented star, Triple H thinks about the money, and Roman's bringing the money, and that's what's bringing in Triple H's revenue for his business.
That's who he's going to bring.
Remember, understandable, agreeable with all that. This is why I feel it's like
wait, CJ, like you brought up a good point.
That can revenue so much attention, but also on most fronts, you got to realize fans are at that point where we want to see a star come out that hasn't been behind the proverbial system, if you will.
I mean,
And
there's
we
two
know
titles.
LA Knight is one of those names. But also, I have to say to myself this. With what we saw on Monday Night Raw feeding into this whole narrative, where do you think Finn Balor sits at the table with this potential match, and how does he fit into that equation?
I do know this though. There's two top titles, right? So they could be a for a top, young star or whatever to gun for it. They only have two top titles, so one of them can gun for it. Roman hasn't been in the top title scene for 2 years, so they're basically having him get a choose one, and he's never got his rematch for it.
And it feels like this too, and I gotta address this as a whole because I feel like this. Even though you kind of short-ended Jey Uso's title run for Gunther, there's a name that feels much more deserving because I say this. How many times? I mean, even though you got Jay back in the tag title scene, but also it felt like Jay felt wrongfully undeserved, unused as the World Heavyweight Champion.
I mean, I can see that though. Jay was actually a pretty good damn world champion though.
Like you gave him the shortest stint with
Here's
that
the
title.
thing, though. He was making the money. He was bringing in the money. But did they all care? Probably not.
No.
But the fans sure did. Us, universe
It's
did.
like that, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Ryan, because the fans kind of synced into Jay's.
Well, it's because
persona.
Jay is a fan favorite. Ever since he became Intercontinental Champion, he became a fan favorite.
And then it's almost like they synced into Jay's persona. They synced into that overall passion that he has. And it's like you short in that because of, oh, we got to put the title on somebody worth it, which brings me to that focal point of this. WWE has had Jade Cargill and as a champion.
I
But
hate
they have not even given her a proven, opportune opponent that would be mutually official to her. Even though I know that she's got the rivalry started up right now with Jordan Grace, I'll say this, but you got to find somebody that's ultimately going to be in there.
I'm kind of glad you jumped to her because DJ.
We got one more. We got one more guest in the building. We got the man Nixon coming in here to feed into this discussion.
But as I was saying, DJ, I'm glad you jumped
we
to
got
Jade
the man
Cargill.
himself, Nixon, in the building. So as we were talking, Nixon, we wanted to get your honest thoughts on everything we discussed as far as the women's Royal Rumble. And literally, we went into the fact of the AJ and Gunther match, and then we went into the Sammy, and we went into all the matches. So let's get his thoughts before we feed back into this narrative, because I really want to hear what Nick has to say on this.
Yeah.
So you guys want to know what I have to think, huh?
Yeah, about Gunther.
Gunther's a little bitch, plain and simple.
Well, he's retiring our heroes one by one, ain't he?
Yeah, and
And we're all getting sick of it.
Have you not followed this get on Raw tonight, though? Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee, of course, he's going to take up for someone. But let's not talk about the War Raiders get their absolutely asses whooped by one person.
Oh yeah. Yes.
We're gonna dive into that narrative too, because I say this: Oba is looking like he's showing his dominance, and then letting him keep his overall energetic feel after he left NXT, and they're keeping him as a physical specimen.
No, you know what they're doing? They're making him a monster.
Jumping back to
both of them. Lift both of them up.
But jumping to Jade Cargill again, you know, I heard there's one reason why she hasn't defended yet as much.
Probably say
She's waiting and waiting. She's not just giving anybody opportunity. She is waiting for the right person to step up. And I think that's why they're throwing Jade in her face, is because she needs to defend that title like she's supposed to, but she's not.
Yeah.
Because she's hesitating and she's waiting for somebody worthy for her expectations.
Because I had the feeling, I knew deep down inside, Liv was not going to go after Jade. Liv was going to stay put on Raw and ultimately make her choice known. Okay, I'm taking the title off of Stephanie Blackcourt and getting my title back.
But like, the thing is though, why put Liv over any other women in that Rumble?
There's the $64 million question right there, Austin.
Well,
we
Austin,
got to dissect here.
Would this jump back to what she said in the interview? Were you listening? No, you probably obviously weren't. Or paying attention, because she said what she said, and I'm sure DJ heard her loud and clear. She's always had luck in Saudi, and she's never lost in Saudi.
Yeah, but Rumbles are different because the last few years,
but
kind of ate shit.
Liv Morgan hasn't lost anything in Saudi. Come on now, Nixon.
It
doesn't matter, but your Rumble history re-elects yourself.
But why couldn't they give that same narrative to Sammy? Because he never lost in Saudi until Saturday.
But you forget it's Drew fucking McIntyre. Every chances they fucking faced off, McIntyre's won. He's 12-0 against Sami Zayn. 12-0. Sami Zayn has not beaten McIntyre, not hair.
Yeah, but jumping to McIntyre though, every time you get him where he's close to fucking home, the fucker wins somehow.
But this is the thing right here that I have to say right here. Going into this Royal Rumble, it's like that whole segment where Drew McIntyre, Claymore, Cody Rhodes to eliminate him. I feel like
Cody's going to be pissed.
Cody is going to be super pissed off, and he's going to want Drew McIntyre just so that. And I feel like this is even more of an incentive as well, because then if Drew loses the title to Cody, where does this lead for Roman? Like, even though Roman already made his choice,
that was a great goal, by the way.
Here's the thing: Cody Rhodes has to win the Chamber. At the end of this month, we're going to be live in Chicago for Elimination Chamber.
Oh yeah, and it feels like all these and speaking of the Chamber, who do y'all feel should be the qualifiers, the main entrants from both Raw and SmackDown?
LA Knight
that should be in this Chamber as a whole.
Like, I'm gonna pick
I would like to see Oba.
I think Oba needs to be in here.
I like to,
for one, and two. I feel like LA Knight is definitely another deserving name.
Randy Orton's gonna be in it.
And I feel like I know this name is going to be in there as well. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they're going to try to put Royce Keys in a position to be a dominant figure in WWE.
Yeah, but then you got Oba too, so you got two powerhouses. Jesus Christ.
Some tells me they're gonna try to throw Brock in this equation as well for some reason.
I don't know about Brock because Brock is like a I'll show up when I fucking want to type of person.
Right, right.
So it just depends. It says, well, if I already won Elimination Chamber once as WWE champion, do I really need to do it again? Nah.
Keep in
Like,
mind,
and
they
I'll
stated
put it
that
like
Oba is still
this:
Well,
in the
jumping to
long
things
run,
here, the Bellas want in on the tag team women's situation for titles.
I
and
kind of
I
figured
feel
that.
like this is the thing too. Looking at that equation, Ryan, I'm saying
Here's
that
the funny thing is I could probably see Javon
I
Evans
can
being in.
see Nikki and Brie being tag team champions over the
They
current
should.
champions that
In that they
have.
should, because they're the two that put the women's tag team on the map, really,
And then I
because
feel like you should give them a nice little lengthy run because I do feel like the team that currently has them is ultimately going to lose them, but who they're going to lose them to, I think it should be the
well.
Bellas.
Well, I feel like that's the case because after that Rumble for the women's side, Raquel did lift Rhea up and slam her on the apron very hard. So she's
yeah, but
due to
Rhea,
that.
And I also think Rhea and Io is definitely looking like, okay, we got the Bellas, like we can give them a nice 5-star classic match, but then ultimately hand the title to the Bellas because I think Rhea and Io are going to be more focused on the women's elimination chamber match to try to vie for who's going to be number one
thinking
contender.
about that, I remember what Liv said about Rhea to Io, that she tried to warn Io that Rhea will probably turn on her.
Never listen to Liv. She Libby's
Like,
psychotic.
Oh, really? Coming from the tag team ex-partner that was with Liv or Rhea Ripley that probably turned on Liv Morgan?
like, and I
Liv
gotta say
Morgan
this
probably
because
deserved it. I mean,
I feel like when Rhea did do that turn, it felt like the best solution because she was learning under Edge's tutelage. And outside of that, I'll be like, it's a complete different ballgame
Okay.
with the
But did you guys touch up on, speaking of tag teams turning on one another, I saw a little bit of that in the Women's Royal Rumble. Now, did you guys talk about Liv Morgan and Rhea?
you mean
That's an interesting point you bring up.
Or here's another one, Asuka and Kyrie, because last I seen, Asuka had a handful of Kyrie.
And then I noticed another thing too, like Oscar and Kyrie definitely feel like it's a breakup going on right there because how Kyrie eliminated Oscar and she was trying to save her to be in the Rumble. Another thing is, how are we going to feel about Bailey and Lyra on the other hand as well too?
She could have just drive herself back up. I don't know why she was like.
My question is I want to see what continues on with Javon Evans. I mean, he did last from number 10 in the Royal Rumble. He just won against El Gran Americano. And I could possibly see him entering the Elimination Chamber or at least getting a qualifying match for it.
I do see a bright future for Javon Evans because he
he's only
did
21 years old
live.
and he's doing
But
phenomenal
also,
things.
the other thing I got to bring to the forefront is this, Nixon. What about the little mistaken identity between the dual Americanos?
There's something that's going to have to happen about that.
I think one of them was Chad
A little
Gable.
bit. Well, no shit, Ryan.
Like that dual Americano situation is another thing that has to be addressed too.
I don't know. That other Americano, didn't look like Liquid Kaiser. It did not look like Kaiser. It looked like somebody else, or it looked like one from maybe AAA,
Some
because
tells
that
me,
looked completely different.
because some
Which
tells
one are you
me
talking about,
we're gonna
Ryan?
have the Battle of the Americanos probably at WrestleMania.
What do you think
you-
I'm talking about, Nixon? Open your fucking ears.
Which one,
I
you
just said
dumbass? Two of them, you retard.
the other Americano
The
didn't
one
look
that was
like
wearing the green.
Kaiser.
You mean
He
the
looked like
green
somebody
one?
we didn't know.
You mean the green one?
Yeah, he
That's
looked like he was
Ludwig.
from AAA.
No, that's Ludwig Kaiser,
Didn't
100%.
look like him
Well, you gotta look better. That is
What?
Ludwig Kaiser.
because he looked more like a true
I say
luchador
this.
than he did Kaiser.
No, that's
I say
Ludwig
this
Kaiser.
right here. What
I mean, look at
do
the
you
hype.
feel should be potential matches that y'all would want to see at this year's WrestleMania?
Ooh.
You know, I do want to see, if they have Roman Reigns, hopefully Roman Reigns come back with his head of the table theme song.
Not gonna happen.
Oh yes, it is.
Nope.
No, it's
Sorry
not.
about your
Because
damn
he
luck.
was more within all that years, he was dominating
Sorry
every.
about your damn luck,
With
Katie.
that theme song,
But
KD, he was more
unstoppable.
dominant as the big dog.
yeah, and yet
Right.
he
Just-
bitched out my big
I'll
dog
say
too.
this as a potential match that I've been wanting to see at Mania, and I say this is going to be a blockbuster. If we get the Bellas winning the tag team titles against Io and Rhea Ripley, if that don't happen at Mania, I feel like it should happen at Mania.
Better yet, give us brothers versus brothers, the Lucha Brothers versus the Usos. Talk about
That would be another
masterclass.
intriguing match that I want to
What's
see.
that?
The
Penta and Ray
Lucha Bros
Phoenix
versus the
versus
Usos.
Jimmy and Jay?
Yeet. Yeah.
The Lucha Bros versus the Usos. Like we
Talk
need to
about one of
see.
the best matches that would be on
We
that
would
night.
definitely need to see the Usos versus the Lucha Bros because I feel like the
That would
Lucha
slap.
Bros would be the more suitable team to take the Usos to the limit.
Oh yeah, they definitely would be.
But the one match
And I feel
I
like
would
what
actually
we
like to
need to
see.
see, Nixon, and I know you would probably be shocked at me saying this. We need to see a demon return.
Oh yeah, man.
We
Finn
need to see
Balor.
Finn Balor
Oh,
and demon
yeah.
return.
Hey, here's the bad thing. Balor could be in Elimination Chamber too, but
Because I feel like they are setting up after what I seen on that little segment of Finn Balor. They're setting his demon return to be epic.
whenever he goes into those dark places, Hit comes out.
Something happens.
And it's not
Exactly.
good. The last time we seen it was at WrestleMania, and Hit fought something evil too. That was Edge.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the thing that made that so epic to me, and I'm glad that Edge had it and Damian Priest had this moment. Both of them pretty much shared a common rock group by the name of Slayer as their official theme song coming down to the ring. And I'm like, not once, but two people using Slayer at WrestleMania was kind of intriguing.
But another match I would actually like to see is LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre.
That would be an intriguing scenario too.
Yeah, but I got a feeling we're probably going to get Cody versus Drew.
I don't think that because Cody would have to win the chamber.
Yeah, either Cody or LA Knight would have to win the chamber just to face Drew McIntyre at Mania.
Nixon,
Now,
there's always more than one way to push yourself to get to WrestleMania.
Now, I will say
Yeah,
this.
but there's
I feel like with the
but
way
you know
that
how it is after the Rumble, there's only one way and one way only.
now
to get
I
a
feel
World
like
Title
this is going to be
Other
a
people
thing.
find loopholes, Nixon.
Well, you
Like,
try
We've
to find
seen
a
it time
loophole.
and time again.
Then you try to find a loophole. Go
Like
ahead.
Nixon, I will say this as a whole. And I'm thinking this is going to be the more viable option for Jordan Grace to do. She powers her way through the chamber, and then she earns her shot versus Jade Cargill at Mania.
Jordan
Well,
Grace, she
I
did a
hated to
phenomenal
see
job.
Jordan Grace when she got screwed out of NXT
Yeah, here we go again.
women's title shot after NXT women's title shot.
I
But
mean,
I
that's
feel like
because
somebody that needs to come up from NXT right now that I feel is good, that I saw
Ryan, the only reason
a
I'm going to tell you
report
she's
on.
got screwed out of that entire
How would y'all
NXT
feel
situation.
about this being a potential call up? Do you feel like Sol Ruka would be a perfect fit for what brand?
I mean, I could see her going after Becky Lynch's title.
Let's get to the narrative of that, shall we? About Becky?
But here's my thing about it, and I see Becky Lynch losing that title to
I'd say
probably
she
Patty before anybody else.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I was
she
about to
needs
say.
to lose it because of the way she's been bitching, moaning, and whining.
And like I feel like this is the thing too. Becky hasn't been herself since she lost the big title.
To tell you the truth,
and I'm being honest because in most cases, you got to ask yourself this question. Becky Lynch has not been this major, hasn't been focused on being the person that she knows she could be. She's like running off of doubt. She's saying this, she's saying that. Like her last quote that she did on social media was she should have won the Royal Rumble. She should have been the cover athlete of 2K26.
She's just bitching. That's all she does. I mean,
and I'm sitting up there saying to myself, if you're complaining about this more than you focusing on doing it, you would have been in a better position, Becky.
But yet she's sitting there. She's got the IC women's title. But yet she's complaining to Adam Pearce saying, "Oh, I was eliminated unfairly."
Exactly.
Change the wind, or I'm not going to work with you.
Honestly, it's just Becky being Becky at this point. She just wants to run her fucking mouth about being unfairly eliminated. But
Makes me wish Maxine would come back and whip her ass and take that title from her.
All right, boys. Well, I gotta go out. I gotta go take Josh over for a minute.
No problem, Austin. Welcomed you on here. Glad for you to be on the episode. There's more to come. More wrestling podcasts that'll be done in the foreseeable future. But we're glad to have you on the episode.
I'm out of here.
Austin, enjoy your night.
But yeah, jumping back to the Becky narrative, it's like, really? I've never seen a superstar complain and bitch and whine that much.
Here comes Nixon again.
As we welcome back Nixon to the forefront of this conversation. But this is my thing about this. Becky needs to, as what was said on Busted Open Radio, shout out to Bully Ray and those guys over there. She needs to get back to the narrative and prove that she's the person that ran that women's division. We don't need the crying, bitching, complaining Becky in the long run.
We need Becky, the first inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky. That's what we need.
Yeah, we need that hard-hitting Becky Lynch, the one that came into that match with Charlotte and Ronda Rousey and won two champ back, two title back.
Even the one that beat Tiffany Stratton for the NXT Women's title.
That Becky Lynch is what we need. Like, we need that focused Becky. We don't need this version of Becky that is throwing her weight around.
Well, is she trying to keep up with Seth's activity and the way he's doing things? Because if she's trying to do that, it's not working.
Right. But in the long run, there are some things that needs to be addressed because I feel like you
And there's
have
the
so much that should be done in
Piss me
this
off.
industry, but it's crazy.
Katie, you don't need to talk. You got
It
corn
just
sticking out of your mouth.
it just makes me wish that Maxine would come around and kick her ass and take that title back from her.
Like we
But they're not
need
going to do
like
that.
I feel like when Maxine had that title, she was getting a lot of credibility and a lot of focus on her. But also in that same narrative, she was getting scrutinized by Becky, which was literally killing that narrative of giving a little credibility would have went a long way towards
And yet,
building
the only reason why Becky
Maxine.
Lynch won the title back is because she cheated.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're right,
Yeah.
Nixon. You got that one right.
All right.
I mean,
Here's my
it ain't
question, though.
clear
I
to
got a
see.
question
A
regarding
lot
to
of
the.
people like to cheat. Gunther cheated the first time to beat AJ Styles.
I
How about
mean,
the second?
Maxine didn't cheat.
And yet he
Becky just
hit
took her
AJ
eye off the
Styles
ball.
in the balls again at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he did. He cheated twice.
Yeah,
Motherfucking cheat.
so
But when
Gunther,
Maxine won, she didn't cheat.
she didn't cheat.
Becky just
Well,
happened to look over and she took her eye off the ball because she was too busy paying attention to
AJ,
AJ Lee.
that's not Maxine's fault. That's only Becky's. Because
It's like
what's the
this, and I gotta
number
say
one
this.
rule in wrestling? Do not
Looking
take
at
your
this,
eyes off the prize.
No,
like
One little
this is
never.
my
hiccup
thing
will
about
screw
this,
you
right?
over in the long run.
Like, you ready for this, fellas? This is my thing about this, okay? And I say this with all due respect. It's like, do WWE actually know what women they want to actually be the headliners and who shouldn't be headliners? I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like they did Zelina Vega a huge disservice when you had her run. Ultimately, you're doing a huge disservice to Julia, but you made back up for it and gave her the title. Cool. But I feel like there are certain women that just need that push. And I feel like Natalia under Natty is going to have a huge narrative going forward.
But can we not talk about what's going to happen tomorrow? Because we got some big news.
Well, speaking of NXT tomorrow,
We got
there's going to be a lot of things happening, and there will be another show coming up tomorrow after NXT goes off air.
but
So
we get to crown a new NXT
So we're
champion.
gonna, so we're gonna basically
most
discuss.
importantly, who's going to be the new GM for NXT?
I'm
a
going to say William
I
Regal.
might watch it, might not watch it this time. I might not watch it.
So
Might not watch
we're
it.
we're, we're
But
gonna
I
Katie,
we're
saw
gonna
here's the
something
bad
about
do
it.
thing.
You know, guys, I
Katie,
don't know if it's true or if they're throwing shit in the air, but other than Regal, I've never heard that one yet, but I did see something for Big E, but I do not know.
okay, but
Just saying,
something
I might,
tells me
I might
because
keep
this
watching.
is my thing, and I think I heard this go around the airways that they're thinking about putting John Cena as a predominant figure of the NXT brand. I'm not
I
really
didn't see
sure.
that, DJ. I
I'm not
saw
really
him for maybe
sure,
Raw
but
or SmackDown.
I'm just speculating off of what I've seen
I
on
mean,
posts.
knowing John Cena and how he helped people like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn get up to the main roster, John Cena would be a perfect fit for NXT.
Well, I mean, I've also seen it for SmackDown or Raw, but I do not know
No,
where they're going to
NXT
put
would be
Cena, what they're going to
NXT
do
would
with
be
him.
best. But we got Dion Lennox, we got that Shawn Legacy, we got Ricky Saints, we got the Evolved Men's Champion, we got Keanu Carver, which he is going to be different, and then we got that one guy that's missing his tooth, and then we got KD's favorite wrestler, Joe Hendry.
Oh no,
But
we do not.
hold on for
Just so
one
you know, I'm
second,
not.
fellas. Before we dig into that narrative, I want to pass the mic over to CJ Mundo for a minute because I want him to do this announcement regarding future events for him and his Z-Fed show so that the fans know on my channel to come tune in to these shows for the foreseeable future. CJ, the floor is yours.
Let somebody else have the floor because I'm trying to text Kevin Impact, but I will get back to that because I'm busy.
All right, no problem.
The
Reaching
tater
out.
cake.
But back to the discussion at hand.
Yeah, we talk about NXT. I'm not going to be watching it because I'll be taking my nap.
But hey, at the end of the day, we will be for those that's tuned in watching right now, we will be discussing the recap for NXT tomorrow. So stay tuned for episode 2 because that will be an episode that you don't want to forget.
Who do we see walking out as a champion though for NXT?
Like I feel like
Well, I don't know.
if anybody
I
is
want
probably
to see
going to
Joe
walk
Hendry
out,
walk away.
it's probably
winner.
going to like everybody think it's. I'm thinking it's going to be probably Ricky. If Ricky doesn't walk out with it, it's probably going to be coming down to between Ricky and Joe Hendry.
Mm-hmm. Or Kyle Corey, because I
But
mean,
what
that
is this
man's
that I
dominating.
seen though? Ricky tried to go for the NXT men's title and Joe Hendry stopped him.
Yep. But then
And
we
like
also
I
got
do
another
feel
title
like,
match. We
and
just
then
not
another
have
thing
one.
I
We got
say
two.
is, I feel like
Since everyone makes
Darkseid is about to lose those tag team titles.
Yeah, but we actually
you know
have,
what? Since everyone's making jokes about things, I got one. I got a funny one. What if King
Is it
Henry
you?
goes in there and takes the NXT title?
King
Yeah.
Henry ain't gonna do shit. You might as well go fuck a donkey.
Like, that man ain't
Big
going to do
dumbass.
shit.
He wouldn't know what to do with it.
He wouldn't know what to do with it if
It's
a pussy was in
Nixon's
front of him.
favorite wrestler. That's Nixon's favorite wrestler, the King Henry.
And your favorite and your favorite's Joe Hendry, you idiot.
Oh, I thought his favorite wrestler was whatever. What was his name? Something Reeves, Nixon.
Robert Reeves. But hey,
Oh.
Izzy Dame also puts her
Or Reeves.
title on the line. Izzy Dame does
But,
defend her title on the line
fellas,
against Lola Vice
I,
on
I,
PLE.
I know that this is going to be a thing, but we're going to feed more into this NXT narrative when we do the show tomorrow. And I want to try to save some of that energy for
Let's
after.
talk about
Save it for tomorrow.
Let's
We're
talk
going to
about
save the
what we've
NXT
seen.
talk for tomorrow.
Let's talk about what we've seen at the Rumble when they showed off the WWE 2K26 trailer.
Now, there's something I will say. I want first impressions on everybody's thoughts
That was
before we close
awesome.
down the show
I'm ready for the
for
photo match.
WWE
I said this
2K26.
might be Nixon's
And
last.
I want everybody to chime in below. Okay, if y'all in the comment section, tell me what edition y'all are getting in the comment section below of
Oh,
this
TJ.
episode.
I think you already know what I'm getting.
Oh, well, I already know that, but I'm just saying, like, we just want the fans' reaction on what
I'm
edition
going
they're
for the
getting
one that's got
in the
everything in
comment
it.
section.
I'm getting the most expensive
I think people
edition,
play
even though it's going to cost me $160.
You're going for the Warzone edition too, Nixon?
I have to do
But I
something.
feel like, I say this in my opinion, the Monday Night War edition is cool, but I say the best cover that we have right now
Attitude.
is the Attitude Era.
You may tell you what's funny though. You know how in 2K history, there's only been a guy that has been on the 2K cover twice, and that's John Cena. Someone just broke that record because Triple H is on 3 covers.
He got the King of Kings, he's on the Attitude Era cover, and he's on the Monday Night War cover.
Which this makes Triple H and The Rock's second time on the cover. 2. Okay.
Well, out of all the WWE
hip-hop
video
is like-
games, Triple H has been more than just 2 or 3.
Well, we're not talking about you, Ryan, in your old age era.
Yeah, but it
The
still
old fart.
counts, though, Nixon, because Triple H is on the cover of SmackDown vs. Raw 07.
It doesn't matter. Nobody played that because I wasn't around much.
I mean, I do. I play it.
I was thinking about sucking on a titty while
I
you
played
was-
that era. What do you mean?
And if they
Well, fellas,
remastered it, which I
gotta
hope they
say this
do, I
right
would
now.
get it.
They're probably not
See,
going to.
So what?
Fellas,
Yeah, is he that young? Yeah, Nixon's that young. He don't play this SmackDown versus Raw.
Well, shit,
Okay.
I'm not old.
Going back to that thing, what you told me about I guess it was the updates on what the show's going to be.
yeah, so here, like, fellas, we want to get into the EFED announcements because this is a special segment on the Chaotic Wrestling podcast that I want people to see what announcements we have for future events in the EFED industry. And I'll hand that to CJ Mundo because he got a big event coming.
Well, it's pretty simple. We got Mondo Mania February 14th for Night 1 and Night 2. Night 2 is what you're going to have to pay attention to because Night 2, I'm personally inducting a good friend of mine in the wrestling call business, Kevin Impact, into the Hall of Fame. So that's going to be huge for Night 2, as you're going to see Mondo in a suit and tie for the first time ever. And I don't really like to wear suit and ties, but just for Kevin Impact, I'm going to be inducting him in, so stay tuned for that. But
yeah,
also,
ladies and gentlemen, I would say definitely go subscribe to the Kentucky Gamer 32 channel. Greatly appreciated for his TNA show. If y'all want to tune in to see more of the episodes, definitely go tune into that.
And maybe if you tune in more, he'll probably do an NCAA game or 2. Because you do that too, CJ.
Just for the record, I'm not 26. I'm not getting 26. I'm sticking with 24. So that's what I'm mainly going to be focusing on. 24s for the rest of the whole year.
So not only that, but we got Nixon here on Night 2 defending the world heavyweight title against Dan Rapture. And DJ, if it's all right with you, I want Nixon to give a response to his challenger on Night 2, Dan Rapture.
You know what? We since we're doing the EFED spotlight here, CJ Mondo.
Well,
since you said that, fellas, we going to have a moment of silence here. Nixon, address your opponent.
Oh, this is going to be funny.
Oh,
Dan
Mr.
Rapture.
Rapture.
I don't think I've ever faced you, but here's the thing that you're going to understand. You've never faced anybody like me. I'm the type of guy that would hurt you and not even care who you are in the first place. I'm more of the guy that punches first, asks questions who you are later. But that's just who I was raised to be. I mean, I've been in the company longer than most people's been around. I've done this for so many years. I remember my first world title when I was 16 years old. I've done things that not people can accomplish. I've done things where I could sit on a mountain and retire and be happy with what I do. But someone's got to show the young rookies that they ain't got the balls to carry a company on their back for years. And that's why I've done every single damn year.
Mm-hmm. But on that note, fellas, we are going to try to close down episode 1 to kind of bring some more leeway into episode 2. But I'm going to let CJ do this announcement.
Not one of Mondo Mania for the main event. It's another House of Violence match between Ryan Storm, the legendary YouTube champion, versus Big John Bundy.
Oh, they already having their match.
Oh boy.
Long-awaited one, too.
Monomania is going to be critical.
My question is when will Nixon decide to hang up his boots and may even want to be inducted into a Hall of Fame spot?
I mean,
Oh, I've been waiting to be inducted into the Hall of Fame for
just
TNA. I've done so much. And
But
I'll
fellas,
answer that question. I'll answer that question. I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be until a long time. You're too stubborn to actually call it quits.
KD, here's the
Nixon
thing.
is
I might be
stubborn.
retired, but there's not much I haven't done in e-fetting.
well,
And that is
fellas,
the
I
truth.
hate
That
to
is
end
the
this
truth.
on the note that we have right now, but I just want to try to save some more energy for the next episode. So we are going to
Tomorrow.
carry on with this conversation tomorrow, fellas, as we dive into the NXT review tomorrow. I hope everybody here is locked in for future episodes because we do have a lot to discuss leading into WrestleMania weekend moving forward. So for those of y'all that's here, I appreciate y'all being here. My panel of guests that's on here right now, I appreciate them
And
for
I
being
gotta
here.
tell the universe what this is presented by.
Oh boy, here we go.
Austin Carter's Cookie Caboodle.
Nope. This podcast is presented by Ron Storm's La Fufu Donuts.
CJ, I'm gonna kill your fucking ass. Mondo, I'm gonna kill your ass.
And it's also
On that
by
note, we're
and
going to
it's
end this
also by
episode off on a good note.
and here's the best part. It's also sponsored by Aaron Rage Licks Brick Baker.
You
Oh
know
my
he's gonna
God,
kill
here we
you, right?
go. But yeah, we're going to end this on a good note. For episode 1, we appreciate you.
And that's not a fact, that's a spoiler.